welcome to Podcast with Nat. So the book that I'll be talking about today is titled The Heart of Redness by Ziggs. So what's happening is it starts from the past and goes forward into the present. So what's happening in the past is there was a man named Kipika, right? He had twins. The name of the first twin was Twin, and the name of the other twin was Twin. I don't know if they ran out of names or they were just named. Right, so during this time that they were living in, it was the time of the prophet. It was the time of the prophet Moses, right? So this prophet told the Xhosa nation that she had gone to the valley and heard voices that said that the Xhosa nation should kill their cattle with the witchcraft so that they can be resurrected from the white people, because the white people were trying to colonize the place that they were currently living in, or they had colonized the place that they were previously living in, so they were just fed up with it. So the other group believed this prophecy and the other group didn't. So between the twins, the first twin was the believer of this prophecy, and Twin was not the believer, right? So Twin did not kill his cattle because that was one of the rather instructions from the ancestors, and Twin killed his cattle. So as these people actually spending time with these prophets, the prophets were like, the ancestors don't want to come because you know what? The other group didn't want to kill their cattle. So guess what? Twin is actually planning a mission on killing his twin brother's cattle. Yeah, that's a lot. And guess what? When Twin was sleeping with his family, Twin went to his twin brother's territory and killed all his cattle. When Twin and his wives, he had many wives and many kids. That's why he didn't believe in the cattle killing thing, because it would mean that he would not have actually food to feed his family. So when he woke up, he found out that his cattle had been killed, but not all of it, because he had sons. So some of the cattle was actually sent to the mountains with some of his sons, right? And because there was a disease that was actually attacking these cattle, that's why some of their cattle was sent into the mountains. And that was one of the reasons that the ancestors had wanted these people to actually kill the cattle, because the white people had come from their places with their disease and came and contaminated the soil, contaminated the cattle. So they wanted everything to be clean before they actually come back. Right? So all of this actually caused quarrel between these people, but even after Twin killed his twin brother's cattle, the ancestors did not come. For what we don't know. So all of the cattle killing was actually in vain. And the generation after the generation of the cattle killing actually suffered because of hunger, because there was no longer cattle to feed the people, and some of the people did not plant or plow because the ground was actually contaminated. Fine, so now the past is over. Okay, so what's happening is the descendants of the twins. The descendant of Twin was Zim, they were the believers, and his wife, New England. And the descendants of the other twin, which was Twin, the unbeliever, is Bono and his wife, Lokichile. Now, in this case, the problem is these descendants, Bono and Zim, are fighting over the development of the village. There are people, white people, who want to come and build a casino, or rather a gambling city, as though they call it, in the village, right near the sea. They live near the sea. Their village is called by Sea. So Zim and New England and their people, the believers, they're still the believers. They're still separated by that back then prophecy. So they actually disagree on this, like, we don't want these people coming here, building their casino here, because it would mean that those beautiful trees there and the creatures and whatsoever, they're gonna be cast away, right? And we're gonna have to pay to swim, because these people will be having the water sports after all, it's near the sea. So I actually have to pay to swim. I used to do that for free, so they actually disagree on that. And the believers who actually wanted this thing to happen, they were like, okay, we get that, but at least we'll get tar roads, we'll get street lights, we'll get other people who get employed. But the problem is, only a limited number of people can get employed, because if you're going to build a gambling city in a place, you already have your stock prepared, right? So they were like, no, we're not going to allow that. And the other reason these people didn't want this thing to happen is because the village will not be making money. The only money they'll be getting is people getting robbed of money, because men or families actually spend their money at the casino and not buying food for their families. Right, so doing all these things, a new character was introduced, who was Camagu. So Camagu lived in Johannesburg for studies for his occupation in America, and was living in Johannesburg. And when he was job hunting, he usually went to a place to go and drink when he was done job hunting. So this time, he heard an angelic voice. So he actually followed this voice, like this. He followed the voice, and it led him into a room full of people wearing black. It looked like a funeral or something. And the source of this angelic voice was a very beautiful woman. It was like, I'm gonna sit here and wait for this thing to end so that I can talk to this woman. So after everything was done, he indeed went to this woman, and he talked to him. He actually found out that this woman was from Colorado, the same village that the development is happening. Right? But they did not interact more, because the woman had to go back to the village, and Camagu was actually planning to go back to America, because in Johannesburg they said, while he was job hunting, they said that he was not qualified. It was actually my first time hearing that as such. So he was actually planning on going back to America to look for a job there, because it would be easier. He studied there. He was like, maybe I could find something there. Right. So when he was on his way to the airport, guess what? He was like, this woman. Then took a U-turn and was like, I'm gonna go to the village, I'm gonna look for the woman, and I'm gonna find her. Oh, he went to the village. When he got there, he was like, I'm looking for a woman called Namarashia. That was her name. People were like, which Namarashia we're talking about, because there are a lot of Namarashias here. It was like, maybe the one you know. He actually tried finding this Namarashia, but he couldn't, because there were a lot of Namarashias and there were a lot of people there. So he actually gave up on this. I was like, can't find him, so I just have to get over. But it was like, since I'm in this place, let me maybe try to find something, maybe try to build a life here. And indeed he did, and he found people associated with them, and he found these two old women who actually suit traditional attires for Amaxhosa. It was like, to these women, you sew for me and I take them and sell to Joburg. They were like, fine. And then he associated with them, and he was also involved in a lot of things in the village. He was a very productive individual, right? And so since, remember, the development is happening, people still having a quarrel, he was actually involved in all of that. Him, Camagu, and the other white man who was actually living in the village, he was more Xhosa than white, because he has been living there more than any other people there. He spoke better Xhosa than any other people there. So Camagu and John Dalton, were actually favoring for the people who were refusing for this gambling city to be built in the village. And John Dalton was like, I'm gonna go to the court and go and register for a restriction for this village to not be built here. Camagu was like, sure, I'm gonna come up with a solution that's gonna alternate this one that these people don't want. He was like, instead of building a gambling city here, let's keep the village as a heritage site, and build a holiday resort for the tourists who want to come and witness all these things, and who actually are admiring the indigenous traditions, right? They were like, sure. So Camagu went to court, registered for a restriction, and got the letter. And guess what? Bono actually, remember, he agreed on these people building the gambling city. He was actually planning on going back behind these people's backs and planning on getting the gambling city built. While he was busy with the construction workers and all that, guess what? John Dalton is here, like, dude, I got a letter, so all of this gotta come down, because this village is now a heritage site. So I guess John Dalton and Camagu and all of the believers actually won the debate. And that's the end of the book. But before I end, there's a quote in the book. It's a Camagu. I'm not saying that anyone should actually take this to mind or consider it or whatsoever, but just hear what I gotta say. Forget the past, don't only forgive it, forget it as well. The past did not happen, you only dream it. It is the figment of your rich collective imagination. It did not happen, banish your memory. It is a sin to have memory. There is virtue in amnesia. The past did not happen, it did not happen. It did not happen. So I'm done with this. See you in the next video with more books coming. Hoping to more reads.
Hey, I shall look on to Bob from Tato.